Welcome into the Chiefs Report presented by Aura, the all-in-one digital safety company. We'll tell you more about what they do coming up later on in the show. You can start a free 14-day trial now at aura.com/chatsports. Tyler Jones here with you today, in for Harrison Graham. We're going to go over the latest Kansas City Chiefs news and rumors. And I got to tell you, it feels so good to be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs once again. I spent a lot of time covering this team in Lawrence for KLWN and ESPN Kansas City, and also went to the University of Kansas. So I feel like I'm right at home talking about the Chiefs. Speaking of which, as a KU guy, I'm probably going to make a few enemies, but that's okay. I got to know, are you a KU or a Mizzou fan? Maybe you're even a K-Stater. Let's go ahead and survey the kingdom. Let me know one way or the other who your team is. Are you a KU fan or are you an MU fan? Let me know in the comments section below. We begin today's show talking about Justin Reid. The Kansas City Chiefs' new safety says that the team wants him to command the back end of the defense. Here is exactly what he had to say. I think that's the reason they brought me here, to command the back end. Not just be a leader by speaking, but to be a leader by example and to help those young guys on the roster develop into the players they're capable of being. He also talked about Spags' defense and said his defense is very symmetric with guys spinning all over the place. His defense is very dynamic, and I love that. He has so many different wrinkles, playing two high safeties, switching it up and playing a zone, blitzing on occasion. I would love to highlight blitzing a little bit more and add that to my game. So, there you have it. Some excitement there from Justin Reid, it would seem, as far as his role in this Chiefs defense. And to kind of take a couple steps back and remind you of Justin Reid, of the Chiefs, of what exactly he brings to the table. He signed a 3-year, $31.5 million contract with the Chiefs after spending a few seasons to begin his career with the Houston Texans. And you may remember his brother, Eric, played 6 seasons in the NFL as well. So a good family of football players, it would seem, among the Reids. And he's the second Reid behind Andy in Kansas City. So got to know from you guys, with Justin Reid replacing the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, will he have a big season? This is our pinned comment today. We have seen that the Chiefs have had a lot of great safeties over the years, whether it's Tyrann Mathieu or Eric Berry, just to name a few. Will Justin Reid be that next great Chiefs safety? Let me know if he's going to have a big season this year. You're about to get an ad break. Take advantage of it. While the ad's playing, get your votes in. Y for yes, in for no, if Justin Reid will have a big year. Now, Justin Reid's got a lot to live up to. You hear him talk about his role of defending the back end of this defense. And the numbers the last few years, according to Pro Football Focus, when it comes to coverage for Justin Reid, have not been that great necessarily. And we'll explain what these numbers exactly look like here for Justin Reid. According to PFF, as you can see, in 2021, his coverage rating, not great, 45.3. 2020, not so great either, 67.2. But those prior 2 seasons, 2019 and 2018, were solid, 79.6 and 77.6. Now, granted, the Texans have not been a very good football team the last couple of years, so you can't blame everything on Justin Reid. But you would have to think that the Chiefs are getting the Justin Reid that we saw in 2018 and 2019 of him being on a solid defense compared to the last 2 seasons when he was on just such an awful defense there in Houston. That's what you would like to think anyway, that you're going to get that Justin Reid that we saw in the first 2 seasons of his career. Now, comparably speaking, here are the coverage rankings for the Chiefs the last 4 seasons. They've been in the top 20 all 4 years. Last year was terrific, 7th in the league at 81.4. 2020, they were 13th in the league at 67.6. That number was the worst of that 4-year stretch, but it wasn't the worst ranking, as you can see. In 2019 and 2018, put up a better overall score, according to PFF, but the ranking was down, 16th and 20th there in 2019 and 2018. Today's show is presented by Aura, the all-in-one digital safety company. They provide financial fraud protection, identity theft protection, as well as online and device security. The best part about it, they're going to protect you and your loved ones. Up to 5 people can sign up on one Aura account. Real-time alerts, they are going to keep you covered. You know, a couple of years ago, I was shopping at one of the big box stores in the Kansas City area. Not going to say which one, though. And what do you know? My card got compromised. And I didn't find out until months after the fact, till my bank sent me a new card. If I had Aura, I would have found out right away. So sign up for Aura so you can be protected. You and your loved ones can be protected, whether it's at home or at the store, online, or your banking information. All-in-one digital safety for the whole family. 14-day free trial now at aura.com/chatsports. That's aura.com/chatsports. Let's talk about Creed Humphrey now. I love Creed Humphrey, the best center in the National Football League. He was terrific last year as a rookie, and he says that the team is embracing the competition of the AFC West as this division got a lot tougher this offseason. Here's more from Humphrey as he was on SiriusXM radio over the weekend. He said, it's going to be extremely competitive, and we're excited about it for sure. Everybody's added some really good pieces, and it's going to be a blast. It's a tough division already, and when they've added these pieces, it's just going to be even tougher. And that's fun for us. We embrace the competition, so we're really excited about it. There will be some tough games, but you know, if you're coming out there, the division, you have a chance to be able to compete with anybody. So we're really excited about that. Look, the Chiefs are the favorites in the AFC West. We'll go over those odds in just a second. But I can tell you this much. Whether it's the Chiefs that win the division or the Broncos, Raiders, Chargers, whoever it is, none of those teams are going to be the number 1 seed. And that is not a knock on those 4 teams at all. The competition is just so tough every week. 2 games against each of these 3 opponents that it's just unrealistic that any of these teams could be the number 1 seed. So basically, if you win this division, not only are you going to be battle-tested, but you can pretty much guarantee you're not going to have that first-round bye. You're going to have to play in a wild card game. I mean, that's just the nature of it. You look at the additions in this division. The Broncos adding Russell Wilson and Randy Gregory. The Raiders adding Devontae Adams and Chandler Jones. And then the Chargers adding Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson. It's just lethal, this division. It is going to be tough week in and week out and a dogfight in this division. The current odds right now, as of today, the Chiefs are the favorites in the AFC West, but not by much at plus 175. The Chargers at plus 220. Denver not far behind at plus 260. The Raiders at plus 650 there for the odds in the AFC West. So I want to know, in the comments section, tell me who is the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC West. Is it the Chargers? Is it the Broncos? Is it the Chargers? If it's the Raiders, type LV. If it's the Broncos, type DEN. If it is the Chargers, type LAC. Want to know who you think is the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC West. All right, we'll shift gears now. Let's talk about the Chiefs' biggest concern. What is that, you may be asking, for this team? Before we get to that, though, I want to make sure that you are subscribed to the Chiefs Report. We are talking Chiefs all the time. Even when Harrison Graham is gone in Italy, I still get to come up here, somebody that covered this team for quite some time, even the backup. I'm the backup quarterback today, and I would say, personally, you're getting a pretty good backup quarterback. So, you know, if Harrison is Alex Smith, maybe I'm Patrick Mahomes, quite frankly. Nonetheless, subscribe now, as you will always get Chiefs coverage, no matter who's here, me, Harrison, whoever. Subscribe now, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Hit that red sub button and turn on the notifications. We certainly would appreciate it. So according to The Athletic's Nate Taylor, great guy, by the way, he says the biggest concern for the Chiefs is their pass rush, which is interesting because it wasn't many years ago we were talking about this Chiefs team and looking at their pass rush as a strength. So roles have reversed. Let's look into it, what Nate had to say. The team's main issue has remained the same since the offseason started and seems pretty unresolved: the pass rush. The Chiefs ranked 29th in the league last season in collecting just 31 sacks. The lone addition this past spring was rookie defensive end George Karlaftis, who the Chiefs selected late in the first round. Spags always enjoyed generating pressure on opposing quarterbacks with various blitzes, but the Chiefs' defense is likely to be its most successful if its two veteran pass rushers, Chris Jones and Frank Clark, can reproduce their vintage production from the 2019 season. And for me, this all comes down to Frank Clark. Chris Jones last year had 9 sacks. Not bad. Frank Clark, 4.5, which was the lowest since his rookie season, and he didn't even record a sack until week 8. So for me, I can trust Chris Jones. Chris Jones has been reliable. I need to see more from Frank Clark. I mean, this is somebody that Frank Clark has all the potential. All the talent's been there. But it's been up and down. It's been a roller coaster of sorts for Frank Clark. So, Frank Clark, get back to what you were doing just, a year or two ago. If he can play like he did then watch out. Frank Clark, for me, if he can show signs, if he can be that player he was, then this weakness of sorts could go from being a big issue to not an issue at all, quite frankly. It all comes down to Frank Clark for me personally. Now, got to know in the comment section, will Frank Clark have a bounce-back year in 2022? Type B for bounce-back, type P for pass. Let me know one way or the other. B for bounce-back, P for pass. Thanks for joining us on today's show. Always a pleasure anytime that I get the chance to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. Give me a follow on Twitter, Tyler Jones Live. I'm talking everything National Football League all the time, including your Kansas City Chiefs. So give me a follow there, and we'll see you next time here on the Chiefs Report.